lyrics are a really good starting point because they're so text-based. We don't know if serious musicians are using it. It would make sense that they are, but we're yet to find AI augmented album by a band in terms of like lyric production. Then we go to the actual music production side of it, DAW, which is where the music is edited. That's being enhanced by ChatGPT so people can do different things. There's promotion, and then there's actually making music videos. We're going to be discussing AI in the music space this week.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, this is wide open territory. I'm looking forward to this. The only thing that I've seen and was really impressed by was this one recording by Atla. He had like a sample of Jay-Z in the background. And at some points I was like, wow, this sounds better than Jay-Z does. Really? It was incredible. Like it had the intonation. I was like, wow, this has come a long way.
AI has definitely come a long way and kind of made its mark already and will continue to do so in the music industry, right?
Is this, oh, it just doesn't sound as good when it's synthesized? Or is this, we don't want musicians to lose their jobs to algorithms? Is this, do you have a sense of where this pushback's coming from?
I think some of it comes from it doesn't sound as good, but I think that's right now. I think it will start sounding as good. One of the examples that I was going through, and he was actually starting to make music. He started out with like a very basic tune that he then turned into full-on composition. So I think as people get better, it could sound better. But I think some of it's based on principle. I'm an artist and I need to create what I'm putting out, right? Rather than use AI to do it. So I think it's a little bit of both. A lot of people started with it when ChatGPT first came out, let's say. It was all trending all over TikTok and YouTube, right? Is creating lyrics. Trending is a big thing to do. It still is, really. People are coming up with different prompts like, you know, write a Drake verse about how he doesn't like beans and chili, right? And that shot up to like, I don't know, 4 million views. And you can enter genre, titles, artists, kind of tailor it to your preferences. And they have a bunch of different things that you can kind of add in there, and it will create song lyrics for you. I think there's a few programs out there. I think Jarvis is probably one of the bigger ones. It seems to me like the success is coming from the hype of the AI being able to do it rather than, let's say, the song itself.
Are serious musicians using it? I think serious writers who understand this are using it because they're bringing the knowledge, they're doing the editing, and they're using it to do some of the reasoning, some of the writing, some of the evaluation. But it's a really good co-pilot.
There was a lot of technical information that is hard to understand if you're not a musician, but it's still interesting on how they're getting there, right? And learning the same methods of the better the input, the better the output. I found one guy who was kind of comparing like Dolly and Midjourney are to graphic designers, like these programs are to music producers, right? And music generators. Now that GPT-4 came out, there's an AI DAW that came out, and it was kind of claiming that this was the only actual DAW system that is currently using GPT-4, so that it's kind of putting it all together where you can actually have one platform that you can take your text and have the output come out as pure music. Because what it's doing is taking the text, turning it into MIDI, and then the MIDI is turning it into the DAW system that's actually creating the music. So you have a chatbot inside the DAW that you can talk with and tell it how to edit. For example, DAW, it stands for Digital Audio Workspace. That's where they're editing, and you can change this and that. And again, it gets very technical with all of the music production, right? You almost need to be a music producer to understand those. If you put into ChatGPT, create chords for this song that sounds like the Beatles, it can give you a text. But that text, then what do you need to do with the text? I mean, the musician has to play the chords. I think it's where it's all kind of coming down to when they're creating the music. A standout feature in this specific tool, it's called WAV tool or Wave tool, W-A-V. You can ask it why the AI made this decision. Why would you choose E minor for that instead of this, right? And they would kind of give an explanation. And he said, okay, well, I prefer like blah, 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 kind of going back and forth.
What has all of this led to? Or is everyone still just figuring it out?
This tool particularly, it's pretty new, probably still figuring it out. But I think the main story is that now that's possible. We'll see a lot more music generated with AI. And sounds generated with AI. Should we be using it for producing sounds and things like that? I mean, you can kind of argue all you want on both sides. Let's say, I don't know, music is a very artistic thing. Let's think music in a commercial that you see on TV. It's a very short snippet of something very basic. Now that it's possible to do with AI, I think it opens an entirely new world for those kind of places and those jobs where you could create a small jingle without having to pay for the rights for that. The AI isn't copyright infringement. You can create it yourself.
So my understanding with the legal stuff, copyright can't be granted to non-humans, cannot protect AI generated work.
I think at the moment you can copyright the output, but maybe you could copyright the input. Many industries that we've seen, I mean, if you're not kind of hopping on the curve, a lot of jobs, let's not say that they're going to be replaced with AI, but let's say that they're going to involve working with AI. There was another girl who came out with, or who gave a list of her prompts that she was using too, and they were along the same lines. But let's say like more in detail, like over the next 5 days, I want to finish writing a new song, generate a marketing plan to release it, and add 50 TikTok followers. Give me a schedule for reaching my goals. In this case, it didn't give her specific responses, so it didn't go into too much detail on this. I can kind of imagine where it's going with that, right? Because I feel like we've seen that in a couple of different use cases.
That sounds great, but then did it help them actually promote anything? And I feel like that, 90% of these wow things or use cases, when you actually try and use them, don't get you very far. Thing that everyone's talking about is auto GPT, with these kind of recursive bots where GPT prompts itself and you kind of have this like loop of, you just give it a goal and then it kind of figures out how to do it. Tried to use that. I was like, cool, I want you to read all of these articles and then summarize them for me and then kind of give me a report. I wanted to know how companies are implementing AI. I gave it the top 10 search results. Please go out, read all these things, summarize it, and then give me the highlights. It couldn't do it. It tried to do it, and then it just spluttered and it like read something, did a really bad summary of it. I was like, okay, maybe that's too difficult or too specific a task. What about just kind of like, I would like to develop a business in the AI space, go wild. So like really broad. It tried doing that, ran around in circles for a bit, and then gave up.
But other cases, I will say, that have gone all the way through. I have one more case that I think was pretty interesting because it kind of deviates from text a little bit. Linkin Park just released a video that was completely made with AI. I believe it's using Stable Diffusion. First, he needed to create a seed image. It was going to be the one image that was then going to be morphed by the AI into like a whole video, put in something like astronaut dancing and jumping in the street. Then you can create the whole generative video with Kyber. You can give it prompts like vintage 90s anime. You trim the audio if desired. You put the audio that you're wanting to go with the video, and the AI is going to then generate the pictures. They're going to generate several different pictures where the audio is going with the music. He went all the way through with it. It created a full-on video. It was a good video. I mean, you can look up the Linkin Park video it's their music video for Lost.
Wow, this is a lot better than a lot of AI generated GIFs that I've seen. Okay, but it still has this kind of like grainy transition. That's amazing. The frames aren't always consistent, like they kind of shift genre style, whereas this looks like it's all created by the same person, which, since we haven't covered text to voice, getting like simulating different music artists, can I just show you what I found? Because I listen to this like once a day now.
Tell the young they can never become what they aspire to. Born in a cell with no one who can.
That is not Jay-Z. So you can just say, oh, I want a song, I want Eminem to read out these lyrics. I thought, oh, it's going to sound like one of those horrible Siri voices. And it's got the inflection, it's got the timing, the rhythm. It's really, really impressive.
Actually, the artist, is it like cut up sections of their voice or?
No, it's generative. Okay, let me very quickly sum up what I've learned.
Okay.
Lyrics are a really good starting point because they're so text-based. We don't know if serious musicians are using it. It would make sense that they are, but we're yet to find AI augmented album by a band in terms of like lyric production. Then we go to the actual music production side of it, DAW, which is where the music is edited. That's being enhanced by ChatGPT so people can do different things. there's promotion, and then there's actually making music videos, which is the music video that we saw. I think that's brilliant. I think that's a really good snapshot of kind of different ways that it is starting to be used in the music industry.